Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm jumping on this trend of answering your guys' assumptions. These videos have been everywhere on YouTube Italia this week. Last week, really, I'm behind because I didn't have time to actually jump on the trend when it was a trend. But you know what? Better late than never. I couldn't let this one pass me because I love going off and reading people. So I'm doing a little bit of a twist, and I'm going to be focusing specifically on the rude assumptions you guys had about me. And if I'm being honest, actually, most of them weren't even rude. They were just like not positive assumptions said in, an honest way, because I asked you guys honestly what you thought of me and you were honest. So let's hear assumptions about me. Okay, the first borderline rude negative assumption about me is that I dislike Bailey from, Carlo and Bailey. I just want to set the record straight on YouTube. This is not true. I realize why some people think that, because I did a birthday vlog on my 21st birthday and Bailey was one of my guests visiting me, and I vlogged the whole thing, and I rewatched the vlog, and yes, I did seem a little bit pissed off for that whole vlog. But it wasn't because of Bailey. It was because it was a very stressful situation for me. I had 3 friends from abroad come here to Milan for my birthday party, and so I had to organize everything for them. Plus I was organizing the party, and that same day Enrico basically broke his finger. It was all very, very stressful, and so apparently I'm not very good at hiding my feelings, and so the stress leaked out into the vlog screen. But no, Bailey is an absolutely sweet girl, one of my good friends, as good of friends as you can be online. She's one of my closer online friends, which is why she came all the way to Milan to come to my birthday party. So I hope I squashed that. Bailey is an incredible person. You guys should go check out her channel. And no, I do not dislike Bailey. Sei rica. No, this is not a rude assumption. It's just, as I've already said, not very positive. I'm not rich. I am financially stable, I'd say, but that's a very recent thing. That's only been in the last year or 2 years, because I do a million different things. And so finally I've reached a point where I'm not so stressed about money, but anything could happen and that could change tomorrow. So no, I'm not rich, and I just am financially stable because I'm also financially responsible. Didn't know it was a crime. People think you give a diva vibe before they've met you. I don't know. Do you guys think that I seem like a diva? I feel like I'm pretty down to earth. I mean, yes, I'm honest, and yes, I'm blunt. If I think that something is a certain way, I'm not gonna mince my words, and you guys know I don't have Pele on my lingua. So maybe that's why people think that I seem like a diva, but I think I'm so nice. You barely sleep. Yeah, that's true. I mean, actually, no, it's not. The last 2 weeks have been very, very busy for me. I'm going through a little bit of a life change right now. And so, yeah, these last 2 weeks, I haven't really been sleeping. But before that, for a good year or so, I'd say I sleep pretty regularly, a nice 8 hours, 7 hours of sleep a night. But I'm always so tired because I do too much. I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to scale it back. But I guess you guys can tell that I'm kind of tired, and it's true. I'm tired. I assume you don't give a shit what people assume about you. LMAO, keep it up to ya. It's true. I mean, sometimes it's annoying to me when I hear just blatantly wrong assumptions, like the I'm rich assumption or anything that kind of discounts me. Yes, it's annoying for me to know that people think that way. If it's blatantly wrong, it annoys me. But in the grand scheme of things, people's assumptions don't change anything. People's assumptions don't demotivate me or change the way I do things, and they're not gonna deter my success. So you're right. In the grand scheme of things, I don't care. But somebody else had an assumption, which was that I like answering negative assumptions. And I do, because what's more fun than telling a wrong person that they're wrong? You can't sing. Well, that just came out of nowhere. I would say that I don't sing as well as a professional singer, but I sing better than the average person because I actually have a very musical background. I've always sang in the church choir since I was really young, and as soon as I was able to at school, when there was choir class, I sang in choir all throughout high school and middle school. And I even went to a regional music festival that you had to audition for and stuff. So that, and coupled with the fact that I played 2 musical instruments growing up, I I'd say that I sing all right, and I like to sing. I'm not Beyonce or anything, but I don't suck. I don't suck that much, you know? I bet you if I sang, I would surprise you, but I'm not going to because it's not me anymore. You have high standards in life, extremely high standards. Extremely high standards. You're not into the Black beauty community in Italy. I would say what Black beauty community because not to the fault of the Black beauty community here, but to the fault of like brands and even spectators. There aren't a lot of like really popular and visible Black influencers. There's maybe like one, and it's not very often that one is bringing forward new names into the game. So I would say, what do you mean? I try my hardest to include smaller Afro-Italian beauty influencers. Like in all of my product launches, I've put them in my PR list. I've given them shout outs in my videos. I try to do as much as I can to bring them to your guys' attention, but not being a beauty channel or like exclusively a beauty channel, it's kind of hard to, you know, find moments to put them out there, but I try to when it makes sense, you know? But there definitely is a Black beauty community, and I'm gonna like throw out some of my favorite smaller Afro-Italian beauty influencers right here. And yeah, I hope the community keeps growing and keeps getting visible. You hate America. No. Like I said, a lot of people take honesty and bluntness and straightforwardness for like negative feelings, but I have no negative feelings towards my home country. I love my home country. I love my country so much that I want it to do better. And I can only want it to do better if I recognize that it has problems. And so that is why I talk about the problems in my country, because I would love for them to not be that way anymore. And I think that the most American thing of all is being able to say these things out loud without like people jumping to the conclusion of you hating your country. But clearly that's not the case in actuality. But yeah, I guess I'll just set the record straight. No, I don't hate my country. I love America. I love Americans, and I just want us to do better. But in the meantime, since we're not doing better, I can't live there. That you tend to often correct people. I mean, even on small things. Unless like it's my job to correct them, because sometimes, you know, at work I'll be asked to help out an intern or correct an intern or correct somebody's English as a job, then yes, I'm going to because I have to. But like if somebody speaks incorrect English in front of me, I'm not going to stop you every sentence and tell you and correct you, because I don't know, for me, I just feel like that's a little bit rude, and I know how it feels to speak another language, and I wouldn't want for somebody to like stop me and correct me every sentence, so I wouldn't do that to somebody. I don't know. I think there's always a time and a place, and c'è sempre un modo, you know, there's always a way to do it, and I try not to be that annoying maestrina, at least not in real life. Maybe on the internet I am, because I'm always like but in real life, no, I'm actually really chill. That you are Permalosa. I mean, isn't somebody that's Permalosa somebody that gets offended easily? I mean, this negative assumption might be correct. I'm also the kind of person that I overthink things a lot. Like the smallest thing, I'll go to sleep still thinking about it and still wondering. I'll say something during the day and a week later, I'll still be thinking about that thing. So maybe I am a little bit Permalosa, but not on the internet. I think that's something that's so important to highlight, is that we as influencers or internet people, we're so different in real life with respect to how we are on the internet, and I think that you guys should always keep that in mind. You don't understand real Italy because you live in a big city and not where everyday Italians live. I think that this negative or not positive assumption is probably correct. You guys are probably right about that one. I don't have much to say or respond to. Ti senti più matura dei tuoi coetanei. Coetanei. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I feel older than the people that are also my age. Yes. And I think it's kind of like, it was obvious that it would have happened because I just had to do certain things before other people my age. Like when I decided to move to Italy at 18 years old, I became a real adult. Like we always joke about becoming an adult in America, that you become an adult at 18, but it's not real adult. You're not really an adult. Like you'll go to a college where you still have to live on campus, and you'll have TAs that are still like you still have kind of like security in people directing you a little bit in your life when you go to college in America or you turn 18 in America if you have parents and stuff like that. But when I decided to go to Italy and go to a completely new country, I was really on my own. I was paying rent on my own. I was paying taxes on my own. Like, everything fell on me. And so I had to grow up because of the choices that I made. And so, yeah, I do think I'm a lot more mature than your average 23-year-old. I keep forgetting that I'm 23 now because I just did certain things earlier in life and it forced me to have to grow up. You might be a stubborn girl. I am a very stubborn girl. There's nothing that annoys me more than being wrong, which is why I try to think before opening my mouth. I try. But even though I hate being wrong and I hate changing my mind and my position, I'm still open to doing so because I think that's what part of being a rational person means. Brands are using you and you are allowing it. Hashtag popularity, hashtag capitalism, hashtag consumerism. I mean, I don't agree with this because I've set myself up to have multiple streams of income. Whereas, for example, I have a normal job off of YouTube and I talk about things in such a way that I still make like an okay amount of money from off of just my views. With respect to most influencers, I'm very brand independent. And so like if I'm talking about a brand, it's because I actually like them. I don't need to do collaborations to live and to have enough money to get by. I consciously made that choice because I didn't want to be that way. So it's interesting that somebody has this assumption about me because I worked really hard to not. So I don't really know what to say about that other than no, not true. If you see a brand on my page, know that I really like that brand because I don't do a lot of collaborations because I don't need to. You are not familiar with African American vernacular, AAVE, African American Vernacular English, and used to hang around white people back in the States. The ignorance. Like this was like when I was younger and they used to tell me that I dress white and that I act white because I spoke English, proper American English. And because like I carried myself in such a way that, you know, people couldn't tell that I was poor and from the ghetto, you know? And that was also always like, first of all, my parents weren't gonna have me like walking around and making myself an easy target for American society. My parents weren't gonna have that. And I also think that as intelligent Black people, you learn how to code switch. Like, of course, if I'm with my girls, I'm gonna talk a certain way. And of course, if I'm with my family, I'm gonna talk a certain way. And of course, if I'm on the internet where hundreds of thousands of people can see me, I'm going to comport myself in a certain way because I don't want to make myself an easy target. And I don't know how that is negative. Yes, I did live in the suburbs for some point of my life. And so I grew up around a lot of white people, but I was very blessed to live in a part of Connecticut where I grew up around a lot of people. I grew up around a lot of Black people, specifically Haitians, Cape Verdeans, Black Dominicans, even though they don't admit to being Black lots of the times. I grew up around a lot of Hispanic people, specifically from Puerto Rico, some people from Mexico. Like there was a huge Caribbean community where I grew up in Connecticut, grew up around a lot of Chinese people. Like I grew up and I had a very multicultural and a very multi-ethnic friend group, and I'm proud of that. And I also grew up with the consciousness of knowing that as a Black person, you need to understand when it is the right time to talk like you from the hood or to speak proper English under the right context so people can take you seriously. Please don't get it twisted between Jamaican patois, English, African American vernacular, or Italian. I can tell you off in multiple languages and dialects. You're too rude and out of order. I don't know if that person even meant for it to be so negative, but I took it negatively, that assumption. I just want to like stress, I got way more positive assumptions than I did negative, and even the negative ones, I don't think people meant them maliciously. I think it was just like a moment of honesty, and I asked for their assumptions, and so they threw out both the positive ones and the negative ones. So even if you guys saw your negative assumption in here, don't worry, I know what you meant. I still love you, but I needed some content and subject matter to make this video. I'm not trying to be rude, but you know little about Nigerian economy. I saw a video about Italy's. What do you mean by that? I know a decent amount about Nigerian economy. I mean, I don't live there, but from an outsider's perspective, I've studied it. You know why? Because unlike a lot of people that talk, I do. And I would really like to improve things in the countries of my parents. And one way that I definitely intend on doing this is investing, because I know that to fix developing countries and developing continents and developing places, it's not enough to just go there and build houses that I'm not qualified to build, teach subjects that I'm not qualified to teach, and take selfies with children who I don't have the real permission and right to be taking pictures of, to post on social media, to show off how much I'm helping these developing countries. No, I know that if I want to make a real difference in these countries, I have to help their economies. And the only way that a Westerner is going to be able to help the economy of developing countries is either to go there and support local businesses, so stay in local run hotels, shop at local run shops and boutiques, buy the goods from locals and not giant multinationals, or investing in the companies there, investing in the infrastructure there. And that's what I'm intending to do in Nigeria. My plan is in April, I'm going to Nigeria. I'm going to exploit the shit out of that jus sanguinis, just like everybody here in Europe does. And I'm going to get my passport, because to do a lot of these things, you do have to be a local or have a local connection. And I'm going to start like putting money into the Nigerian economy, even because I see a lot of growth potential. This assumption is wrong. Okay, you guys, so that's it for the negative assumptions. Like I said, most of them were positive, and I'll probably answer some more of these in the future on Instagram, or maybe I'll make another video because I liked it. I like knowing what you guys think about me, and when you guys aren't 100% correct, I would love to, correct those incorrect assumptions. So thank you guys so much for participating and telling me what you guys think, whether it's positive or negative. I really appreciate it. I hope that you guys liked this video and learned a little bit more about me. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, you guys, I'll see you in my next one. Mwah.